Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I'm Sadhna, and you're on the pilot episode of A Curator's Journey. My guest today is Sahar Gharachorlou. She's a life coach, a motivational speaker, and now an author. We are going to discuss a lot of interesting things. She'll tell us why she gave up a successful career in corporate to become a healer. We'll talk about past life regression, destiny, and her favorite destination as well. It's going to be extremely exciting, and if you have questions, keep them ready because towards the end, we are going to take up viewer questions as well. So I don't think I should take up more time, and let's dive right into it. After all, it's a curator's journey, and you, my friends, are an important part of it. Welcome, and let's go.
Hi,
Yeah,
are you?
You need to put your
Are you
camera the other way. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So just give me a second, right? Because I was thinking we are going horizontal.
Not a problem. So, guys, Sahar is here.
How are you?
I'm very well. How are you, Sahar?
I'm good. Trying to fix this thing.
Take your time, not a problem. We can wait a couple of minutes.
Am I?
Yeah.
Is it okay?
Yeah, it's okay. Hello, guys. I can see a lot of people, Simmer and everybody. So, I think we are ready to start now. I'm here, Sahar is here, and we are on a curator's journey. I was just telling them, Sahar, it came about because, travel is on a hold, and I'm basically a travel designer. I plan holidays, and still, and I didn't have much opportunity to do that. So I thought, let's do something more unique and something that really will make me happy. So this is where I am, and thank you so much for joining me on the pilot episode. It's fun. Jyotika, how are you? Anoop, hi. Now, Seher is actually very well accomplished, and she, after doing 12 years of a corporate job, suddenly changed tracks. She gave up all of that to get into, metaphysical sciences and meditation, and she's a life coach, and she's also written a book. It's called Twice Born. So with all these accomplishments, it's a pleasure to have you here, Sahar. Thank you for being a part of this show, and for the first episode without even knowing what it would turn out to be like. So would you like to say something?
Yes, first of all, I wish to thank you and say a warm greetings to all the people who are watching and who would be joining us. It has always been amazing to do different things with you, so I really look forward.
Yes, and also, you will learn about Sahar's talents during the show. So if you have any questions, after about 20 minutes, we will take some questions. So you can type in your questions in the message box, and I'll try to read and take up these questions. Or you can contact me later, and I'll pass them on to Sahar. So are we all set? Are we ready to go? Yeah? Okay. Hi,
I
Thomas.
think so.
I can just see you there. Yes. So now, what I'd like to start with is that I love your name, Sahar. You know. So I wanted to check: what does it mean really, and is there a story behind it that you would like to share with us?
Yes, so it's a multilingual name. which means it has different meanings in different languages. I think in Arabic and Urdu it means dawn, the early morning, which is also a symbolic of new beginning. And then in Persian it means revolution. So I think I'm more connected to the Persian version because I am very revolutionary in whatever I do. Very impulsive, very revolutionary. I can't think like most of people do. I have to dig into everything. So I connect to that more. Yes, there is a story behind it. I used to hate my name till I came to India.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I used to feel it's such a simple name and what does it mean, revolution? I was a kid when I came to India. And when I came to India and everyone liked my name, I was suddenly so proud of my name.
Yeah, actually,
And I think I'm the only child who's, sorry.
No, please go ahead.
Yeah, amongst my siblings, everyone's name was chosen by my grandfather.
Okay.
But I was the only one who, my father chose my name. So it's even closer to my heart now.
Oh, I know, wonderful. And let me tell you, it doesn't sound anything like revolution. It sounds like a very peaceful and, very sort of calming kind of a name. But anyway, it's nice. It's a lovely name.
But Sadhana, it's interesting because most effective revolutions happen on a very calm platform.
Okay.
Look at Mahatma Gandhi.
Yeah.
How peacefully he took back the country, right? So most
That's
real
true.
work happens in a calm state of mind.
That's actually very true and very meaningful. Thank you for that. Now, let's go to, it's called a curator's journey, and you are the curator today. So tell me about the journey. I mean, do you believe in destiny? Do you, think that your coming to India was destiny, or do you believe in like this free will thing that, I chose it and I'm here because I wanted to? Or do you think, what are your views on destiny? I mean, I think destiny is a very enchanting topic. So
Yeah,
I'd like
it's a very misunderstood word, I think. It's very misunderstood or misconceptualized, I would say. A lot of us use destiny to wash off our hands from the effort that we need to make towards our life. However, I see destiny very differently. From what I understand, destiny is what we choose to experience, and we are the ones who decide what we want to experience. When I say we, I'm referring to us as a soul, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we have chosen the destiny and the experiences, I would say experiences of life, we also have the free will to change it, but within the framework of what we are supposed to experience during this journey. So our free will is limited to the framework of our soul plan or soul journey, or what we call so-called destiny.
Okay. So, what about your coming to India? How did that happen?
That perhaps was a part of the soul plan, or what we call destiny. More to do with the karma, I believe.
Okay. Okay. What about the book? You're you know, you already present so much. You are actually doing classes. You talk so much. You communicate so much already. So how did you think of writing a book? Because there was no real need to put more across, because you're doing it in any way. You have so much of content. You have such a beautiful website, and your content is being communicated. So how did you think of writing a book to top it all off?
Writing a book was probably again destiny. It's not that I really wanted to write a book. I was being told. So, as I don't know how many of the audience know, but I'm also a metaphysical therapist. So basically, I deal with past life regression and all such therapies. And it was during one of these sessions that client of mine from Canada was over, and during something which we call life between life, where the soul tries to understand, she's, the client is neither in this lifetime nor in a past life, but where the soul resides really. She wanted to understand what was the need of her going through so much suffering. So she wanted to understand that. And then suddenly I started writing something like a channel message, and it was 17 pages long. And whoever was giving this message to her was talking about, you need to write a book, you must write a book. And knowing my client, she's nowhere close to writing books. So after 17 pages, my hand was like really tired. And I was really also irritated. And I said, can you ask why is he telling you again and again? You have understood the message and you're not going to write a book. So what is the problem? And then she said, no. This is a message for you. So this was in 2015. And then it stayed with me, and I didn't take it really very seriously because I never thought I would write a book. And then in 2018, as you know, through family constellations and through different medium again, from different participants in my workshops, whenever we would do this, the message kept coming, and it became so regular and it became so intense that I had no choice but to stop my work completely and decide that to write. And I didn't know how to write. So, and I didn't know what to write. But when I sat down writing, I think someone spoke to me, and I think finished the book in 42 days flat. And then it went for editing. So, yeah. So it's something the universe wanted to be channeled through me. And yes, I do have a lot of content, sadhana, but I feel the subject we deal with and this beautiful universe and the depth of our soul is so vast that no amount of information can help us understand even 1% of who we are and why we are here. So the more the better. But I also believe that it should be so simple that no one can get confused. That's what has gone wrong with a lot of other texts. I would say books, but texts. So my attempt has been to be using a very simple, clear language that anyone and everyone can really understand what am I trying to say and not misread what I've written. So that was the aim.
Yeah,
and
actually, I've read the book, and it's very simplistic in flow. I mean, it's not that you have. It's not heavy reading. It comes easily. And the other interesting part is that this book doesn't have chapters. It has sections. So that I found extremely interesting, that you had sections in your book instead of chapters. What is the reason, and why did you do that?
I actually have books, not even sections. I said book 1, book 2, book 3, and book 4. And now that the book has gone for second edition printing, even the publisher asked me, that the new publisher, do you want it to be still having books? What is the reason? And then he read the book and then he understood. So basically, I believe in this lifetime, I went through 4 different lives together. In a sense, completely ignorant, someone who operated from the logical mind, someone who could not function based on intuition. And then I went through a very, very difficult transformation. So that's book 2. Then I realized my pain and suffering is my cause. Then in book 3, I become a new person whose passion and whose only desire in life is to heal and explore and break through all these fears and phobias and whatever I had, many of them. And in book 4, I realized I'm searching the answer in the wrong places. I need to go back to myself and understand it. So it's like 4 versions of me actually living through the book. And I do believe that I have lived 4 different lives or personalities till now. So that's how in book 1, book 2.
In this life itself?
Yeah, it is.
Amazing. And I believe you've seen a lot of your past lives, a very large number. Yeah. So it's quite
to be very precise, as of today, Yeah. I have just seen 601 lifetimes of mine,
Wonderful.
which has been
So-
quite an interesting journey.
It has, and it's a long journey. We are talking about 600 lifetimes and many more. Yeah, but we'll
Yeah,
talk
and
about
15 years of soul searching.
Yes, yes. So, just a quick brief. I mean, how did you think of, shifting from corporate life? I think you were doing really well, and you were, very successful in your corporate job, and then suddenly you changed. Any particular reason, or it must at least require a lot of guts? So how did you muster up that courage to do something like this? Because most of us are always stuck to the same job, or thinking ki we can't do anything else. So you must pep us up a little.
Yes, so when I did it, it more looked like stupidity than courage, because I just decided one day that okay, I am not happy going to work. Basically, it was 8 months of working without any holiday. I didn't have a single day off, and I had a touring job because I was taking care of many locations, and maybe 20 days in a month I was on the road. And then I asked for off on 15th August, which anyone and everyone would be off, and my leave was not approved. So I think that was the breaking point. But this is at logical level. What I understand is when it is time and when it is your calling, nothing can stop you. You just have no choice but to answer the call. So I think it was the time. It was the time that I had to wake up and I had to be punched in the face to wake up to truth. So I think that's how it happened.
Wonderful. So meantime, a lot of people have joined us. Archana, uh, Suruchita, and many other people are here. So a big hello to all of you. Don't forget, if you have
Hi.
questions, you can bring it on after about, after 5-10 minutes, because now we've been talking for 10 minutes also. Now, Sahar, what about, let's talk a bit about the therapies that you do. I think you do you've studied about 50 different, styles of therapy. So, what is it that is really popular with people? Hi Chetna. So, what is it that is really popular with people? Because from what I know and understand, a lot of people basically want a quick fix. They want a solution where they'll tell you, "Sir, I'm coming to you. Just make me okay by looking at me, or do one past life session, and I should be fine." Or everybody wants it to be as quick as possible, whereas that may not be your favorite, or that may not be the right thing for them. So what is it that people really want? I mean, what is it popular with the people? And also, you could tell me what you like personally.
Okay, so I'll first say what I like, because I'll also tell you why. I like my most popular for myself, and what I like to do the most is my family constellation, and something which uh, I call soul macrocosm drama. And by far, this is also most popular, I think, amongst most of my clients and students. And then next to that is past life regression, and the third one is spiritual life coaching that I do.
Hi
Yeah, I
Pooja.
have studied
Hi
about
Vidya.
62 modalities.
Sorry.
One second. I have studied about 62 modalities, but some of them are energy healing, which I don't really practice anymore. There was a time I used to even teach them, but now I don't practice them anymore because I don't believe in quick fixes. There is no shortcut in this universe. So if I truly understand the laws of the universe, I will not believe in shortcuts. And why are these my most favorite? These three are my most favorite. And after that, inner child. So basically, family constellation, past life regression, spiritual coaching, and then inner child is because it forces the person to see through their drama. What I call drama is that when we refuse to take responsibility of our life, responsibility of what we have created, and then also take responsibility of changing it. As you said, most people want that I should be the Panditji who will do some puja even in their absence and their life will become okay. But life doesn't become okay like that unless we change the way we see life or we change the way we are. So these four really help the person to see their truth, to understand what they have created, and also realize they only can change it. So that's why I really like it. And if someone comes to me and say, change my life or do something for me, my answer is usually, I'm sorry, at this moment I don't have any available appointment or my schedule is full, so I don't take those cases. It's very clear.
So I think I can relate to that. I mean, I think past life regression is something that everybody has a lot of interest in, and somehow it's got that really exotic feel or whatever. Also, so I mean, it's
Yeah.
I can imagine it being very popular amongst a couple of.
It's also very fashionable these days.
Yeah, something like
People
that.
think it's a good thing.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
Sahar, the interesting part is that I've met a few people who are actually very scared of trying that. Like they're seriously worried that they'll go off and they won't come back or something like that. So there is different. I mean, there is various sort of questions and views around that as well. But yes, it's
Yeah.
popular.
Yeah.
Yes. Now,
Yeah, so there's nothing to fear. The fear is because of the conditioning caused with all the movies we watch and all the drama created around it. If we sleep and we wake up in the morning, then there is going to be assurance that if you go into a past life, you will come back. Because when we are in sleep, we are in a much deeper trance than we would be in a past life session. So if you can come back from your sleep, you will come back from your past life as well.
that's right. Yeah, I understand. So now, since I'm a travel designer, I must, have a little conversation around travel as well, because otherwise my talk will be incomplete. Now, there are a couple of things in my mind, but one thing I want to ask is that they say that every place has a soul and a spirit. Now,
Yes.
what does it mean to you? Because, like, for us, when we go to a place, it's like you look at the place and admire the beauty, enjoy the sort of sightseeing around it. Like, I'll give you an example. There's a lovely property near Amir. It's called Aman Bagh, and it's actually top of the line, 5-star, private, lovely food.
That's a beautiful
Yeah,
property.
yeah, you have been there, right? That's why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah.
Now, it's situated next to a ruin about 5-10 kilometers from a ghost town of Bhangar, right? Now, the
Yeah.
best of people, including Katy Perry and all, they go there, and nearby is Bhangar. So you end up going there as well. Now, if me or somebody like me would go there, they would probably enjoy Aman Bagh and love the service and all of that. But, and when we go to Bhangar, we would think of it as mystery and intrigue and history, basically. But it won't be more than that, to a normal person.
Yeah.
But what does a person like you hear, see, or feel when you go to Bhangar and Aman Bagh? I'd like you to talk about both.
So,
Since you've been to Aman Bagh.
first of Yeah, I've been to Ahmedabad and I have been to the other place.
Yes, I know that.
Yeah, so first of all, regarding the spirit of the land, yes, what does the spirit mean? Basically, it means the consciousness, right? So not only place, but everything, even if things which seem dead to us, they all have a consciousness which we call the spirit. So in the old times, whether shamanic practices or old time practices, people would not just travel to any land just like that. They would actually take permission of the spirit of the land and also check if they're allowed to step on that land or not. So, as someone who works with consciousness and awareness, I usually don't plan any trip without taking permission from the land. I
Really?
usually sense the energy. Yes, I connect to the spirit of the land and I take permission. And I also ask, I am coming and there must be a reason for my coming. Do you need anything from me? And usually I go to these places for healing.
Oh wow.
They don't call me just like that.
Okay.
Even the land uses.
How interesting.
So when I went, yeah, it's interesting. So when I went to Amanbagh, and when I went to that place, even though I didn't do healing, but I did sense that the spirit of the land was not comfortable. And I knew one day I have to do something about it. And it is interesting that in 2019, I finally healed the part that I was supposed to heal, which was the curse of the queen who was living there.
Wow. So tell me,
Yeah,
when you
so
went there,
usually,
sorry, after you,
no. So usually, yes, there is some work for me to do, but probably that's because that's my job. Usually, I deal with healing of the lands and everything else. But when I went there, I knew that till Amanbagh it was fine, but still I had started to feel that something is coming my way. And as soon as we stepped inside that gate, I knew some major work is to be happened. So I took permission of the premises, the spirit of that space, and I said, as of now, I'm not prepared. And when I'm prepared, I'll come back and do this. And actually, I went back not to that space, but I went back to Jaipur,
okay.
and then the healing happened through the soul microcosm drama. Yes.
So somebody just thanked us for giving this lovely tip that you should take the permission of the land before going there. So thank you. People are, thanking you for that.
Aware.
Yeah. So on a lighter note, when you went to Bhangar, did you find some spirits there and all? What was it like? Because this discussion we often have in the office and all that, what must be there, because none of us can see anything. Is there anything that you saw, or something which the people
So
would relate with?
Yeah,
Sorry?
so I do see. So I do see, as you know, you are aware of it, that I do see a lot of stuff. Yes, I did see that what has gone wrong and what happened and how many souls are trapped there. So I did see a lot of stuff. And also, I knew, there is a Shiva temple there. And it was very interesting that within that premise. So it was very interesting that even though I didn't know what is there, I had to go there. And when I wanted to come out, I just couldn't turn around. I was walking back, even the steps to come out, because it was a kind of reverence and also assurance that I'm not saying goodbye. I will come back to heal. And then in 2019, I actually
You actually
had to go
Wonderful.
back to heal. Yeah.
Wonderful. That sounds fantastic. And I think it's a lovely topic because every country and every land will have its own spirit. So maybe one day we'll come back and discuss other countries also. No? Because Iceland has its own charm. Say South America would have another charm. So things like that. Hi Tasneem. Hi Sudha. Hi Susie. Thank you for joining in. Guys, if you have any questions, you can start typing them now. I'll be now asking you another travel related question. Sorry. Uh, which is, with Corona, we've realized that there may come a day when nobody is allowed to travel anywhere, which is something probably 6 months ago we weren't able to imagine, but now we can, right? So,
But I will not imagine. I can't
yeah,
imagine.
I know. But supposing, someone says that now all flights are closed, can you please, decide a place that you want to go for one last holiday? What would it be?
I think I would go back to Iceland for one last time.
Really? Wonderful. Why is that?
Yes.
What did you like in it?
I just feel it has a part of my soul and it completes me when I'm there. So maybe I just go back and claim that last part of my soul.
That's lovely. That sounds lovely. So,
But what I liked the most about Iceland was the rawness of the place. It's very raw.
Yes.
And I'm also very raw, so probably we match each other's frequency.
Yeah, I agree with that. And you can actually feel the center of the earth there, It's so, sort of, as you said, raw, or it's so
Virgin.
natural, yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
so
right.
intense. It's very intense. Yeah.
It is, absolutely. So I'd like to field a couple of questions which we've got so far. One is that is past life like an actual therapy which needs to be kind of recommended or something, or can it be done by anybody who's just kind of willing to try it out, or somebody who, I mean, basically, is it a therapy?
Yeah, it is a therapy, and it is like basically you are cutting the soul and you are doing a surgery on the soul. So it is a very serious therapy, and it shouldn't be attempted just like that. When we talk of therapy, we are talking about tapping into subconscious mind, which is 10,000 up to 10,000, anything between 6,000 to 10,000 times stronger than your conscious mind. Now, if you're living whole of your life with your conscious mind and still you can manage to survive and do well, imagine if you're tapping into a subconscious level of your mind, what would be the potency of that consciousness that you're tapping into? So there are people who do past life tourism. Basically, they go, they see a life, and they come back. That's really dangerous. Because when we see a past life, it is important that someone who's skilled can understand why are we seeing that past life, how the mind has been programmed there, what are the beliefs, associations, what has happened there that has caused you the suffering that after so many lifetimes you still can't get rid of it. So whenever we just go and see it, we open the wound and the whole Pandora box opens up, and then we don't know how to deal with it, and then we say, oh my god, past life regression is very dangerous, it's not working, I'm becoming bad, worse, whatever. But when the therapist knows what to do, and when the therapist is going after what is supposed to be either changed, reprogrammed, or healed, or released from your system, then it is not about the story. It is only about what needs to be healed. So, usually a seasoned therapist doesn't let you get into the drama of a past life, but in fact, go find out, feel it, heal it, release it, and come out, or if need be, reprogram it. So, I really recommend one, you should not do it for fun, just because you're curious to know what was I in past life. We have been it all, from thief to king to pauper to prostitute to priest. We have been it all, so there's no point going and seeing anything. But if there is a problem or a challenge, I would say, in your life where you cannot find answers, you really try hard and you cannot find answers, then catch hold of a really seasoned therapist and then let the therapist decide what is it that you need to do. Because sometimes past life is not the only answer. It can be so many other therapies that can help you faster and in more effective way. But of course, past life is very powerful in itself. So that's what
Okay,
would be my
great.
answer basically. Yeah.
So yeah, we have another question from Mona, which is related to this. She was asking that what about a person who is not really able to, you know, uh, get totally hypnotized or whatever we can call it. Like they are not all there, and they use their logical mind, and their mind is not able to take them away from the present moment where they are whatever they are right now. So any tips for them, or how do you deal with that, if you could briefly touch
So
upon
it
that?
can be for various reasons. It can be for various reasons. Sometimes the judgment of the person or expectation of the person of himself or herself is so much that the conscious mind is not ready to let go and is fearful of knowing the truth that I don't know what will show up. What if I've done something really weird or wrong in the past? Okay, so sometimes it is that. Sometimes naturally the person is a left brain person, so now it depends. So in that case, in the second scenario, the therapist can find a way to get it done. It's not one way of going into trance. It is not one way of doing a past life. There are many, many versions of it. And someone who is seasoned and has worked with different type of people usually can get it. The third thing can be that the person doesn't trust the therapist and has reached out to someone out of helplessness and not having any other choice, but is not very sure of the therapist and is not really trusting the process. So again, I think in all three cases, a little bit of patience, a little bit of preparation, some homework to be given to the client would work, and eventually the person can do it. And sometimes, if the therapist is a little impatient, like I am, then I say, okay, you sit, I'll tell you what happened. So that can also be done. But I don't prefer the last version of it.
Okay, wonderful. So I think overall, as we sort of discussed earlier, past life is something that interests a lot of people, and the questions have come from there also. Mona also says that there have been certain patterns I realized in personal and professional life, and hunted relentlessly to find a therapist. Guess you're right about trusting the therapist. So basically, till it's like a doctor or maybe lawyer, till you know that it's the right person, you'll always hold a little bit back, and that little bit could be the key to the whole, universe or whatever that you really are hiding. So I think I agree with that. You have to be very, very careful. You have to trust the person, and only then can you let yourself go. Just like a lawyer, I think lawyers often say that even if you're the culprit, don't worry, but just tell me. Don't lie to me. It's like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the
There's a
key.
question.
That's the key.
Yeah, so there's a question for me, but I'll take that at the end. I'll take your questions first. I'm so happy. Thank you, Jyotika. She asked a question for me. Now, Geetu
How
asked,
lovely.
yeah, I know, I'm thrilled. So, Geetu was asking, how do you let go of addictions like shopping, relationship, or any kind? I mean, maybe alcohol or whatever.
So addiction is escaping your reality. What is it, darling, that you're escaping? You face it and the addiction will go. You need to face the reality. If you escape it, you will get into different kind of addictions.
Okay, so you basically are escaping reality. Okay, so we have
Yes.
to get real for that then,
And we have to
and then
face it. We have to really, yes, we can't escape challenges. We have to face them and resolve them one by one. It may take time, but once you decide you want to do that, then there is no scope of addiction.
yeah. So we have another question, and they're asking that sometimes your mind is extremely buzzy, and there's so many ideas in it, and it's very difficult to make your mind silent and quiet because it keeps splitting from one to the other, and there's a lot of nervous energy at times. So is there anything that a person like you, a therapist, or anybody like you, can they help? Can mindfulness be taught, or is it something that you have to do yourself? You have to work on yourself through meditation or whatever and do it.
Okay, so mindfulness is one thing, but practically doing what you need to do is also very important. And mindfulness really can't be taught. It's a practice. You have to keep at it till you master it. And sometimes it's okay. Our mind thinks about 50,000 thoughts a day. So it's okay if you have become just aware of it. So a lot of people are not aware of all this. And if you have noticed that you have so many thoughts, it means at least you are a level higher. You're aware of your mind. Now, what happens is that, now this is not a job of a therapist, but as a life coach, I would like to say that if you have too many ideas, please note them down. The only way to take out ideas from your head and do something about it is to bring them on paper. Because if you want to bring something from unmanifest to manifest, you need to take a step to manifest it. And writing down is the first step to bring that energy of thought into this physical reality. So please pen them down, and slowly as you reread them, you get to know which ones you really don't want to do and which ones you really, really genuinely are passionate about. So you keep reducing the ones which are not really bringing any kind of excitement to you. And then at some point you realize you are left with probably 3, 4, 5. And then you can choose one and do it at one at a time. You don't have to do everything in life today. You have the whole of life to do whatever you want to do. As long as you keep at it, the pace is not important. What is important is you work through it, because success is not really a destination. It's the journey towards it, and you can always just start and then keep changing. If the plan is not working, there's no big deal. Change the plan. Pivot your actions or your decisions or your way of functioning. But first of all, please pen it down. Bring it on paper so that you know what is it that you really want and what is it that you want to discard.
Yeah, journal. These days, journals are very, being spoken.
Yeah, that's another fashionable thing.
Yeah, but you must
Everyone
journal.
has a few journals.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I maintain a gratitude journal, for example. So
that's beautiful.
I think it's a very valid point that you pointed out. I mean, you said something very valid. Somebody wants to know that is your present life a result of your past life? I mean, basically about karma, your views on karma quickly. I mean, of course, it's a very lengthy topic. We'll have to do another show for that. But briefly, do you think it can be changed, or it's written and sealed?
Yes.
When you come here, it's done.
Sorry?
I said, is it when you come to this life, is your future set in stone, or can you change it?
No,
because
you
of
can
the
change it.
Yeah.
So basically our present life and all the future lives would be and are the result of our past life, and usually the result of the things that we didn't learn in the past. If we learned our lessons, they don't get repeated. So whatever lessons we have missed, we one at a time or maybe two at a time, we fulfill in our present life. So our patterns, the way we think, the way we behave, the way we do things, our relationships, everything is because of the carryover from the past. And karma is not punishment. Karma is that once you put an energy into motion, that energy has to complete its cycle and come back to the origin, which is you or me. And once that is done, then that lesson is over, and then you move forward. You can change karma, but the only way you can change karma is to face the truth of that action, the consequences. That if you want to change it, then what would be the new consequences, and then take responsibility for it. So it is through wisdom. Now, wisdom is not knowledge. The wisdom is not reading books. Wisdom is how you apply that knowledge in your life. What do you do with that knowledge? How do you change yourself and your environment through that knowledge? Basically, yourself. So once you do that, yes, you can change the future. And the reason is there is no future and there is no past. Time is just an illusion because everything in the universe is happening in the here and now. It's just your distance from what is happening that makes it feel like past or future, or your unknowing of the experience, or your repetition of the experience. So if you feel this experience has been repeated, you name it as past. And if you feel I have never experienced this, I want to experience it, that becomes your future. So yes, you can change it by changing how you live, how you think, how you intend, how you behave, how you react, how you respond in this present scenario, and taking responsibility of seeing your truth and changing it. That's how you can change your future.
Yeah, so Joban is asking a question which basically means the same thing, that how do we overcome fear and trust issues created by bad experiences of the past? I think you just answered it. That's basically what you told us right now, in a way, right?
Yeah, it's a little difficult, but probably there is no other way. Just one has to face the fears head on. There is no other way. It's very difficult, especially if it is relationship issue and trust issues. But then probably just by working on the self, probably spiritual coaching will help.
Okay, wonderful. So at the end, after we finish, I mean, before we sign off, you can give them, I'll give them your Insta handle, and maybe they can get in touch with you, or they can get in touch with me, and I'll put them on to you. Now, I have a question from somebody in Germany. Thank you,
Okay.
Tom. How are you doing? Yeah, he wants to know, do you see any major difference in Indian and Western coaches and target groups regarding coaching methods, etc.? I mean, you've worked in Canada also and all that. Do you think your Indian audience, if we can call it that, is the same, or you have clients all over the world? Is there anything that you want to say regarding the, you know, regarding any behavioral
Do you want me to
patterns?
be honest, or do you want me to flatter everyone? Please tell
No,
me.
you must be honest.
Yeah, so I do see a huge difference in terms of work practices and also in terms of the clients. What I see is that basically in the Western side, whether it is the coach or whether it is the client, they're very precise and they are quite in honor of each other's space. The terms and everything is very clear, and both party go as per what has already been pre-decided, which unfortunately is not the practice in India. And yeah, what to say? I feel a lot of times our time and the space is not honored. And I
I
also
understand.
see the flip side. So this is from the client where I see that they don't honor your time, they don't honor your space. They always want more of what it has been promised to them or has been signed in the contract, which is troublesome. It's really troublesome because if I'm dealing, let's say, with 6,000 clients and every one of them wants to push me a little, just a little more, then I'm done, right?
Yeah.
Which is not in overseas. And then in terms of coaches also, I see a huge difference. I do see a few who have really worked on themselves and who have done the right, I would say, training, and who work in a specific area. Let's say I'm a life coach or I'm a spiritual coach. That is my expertise. I would want to stick to it. But I do see, if the market becomes full of, like, say, business coach, then everyone who's not even trained wants to be a business coach in India. I don't see this overseas. Usually they're so well trained in one thing and then they go after that, and then they excel in that and they only get into their need of the client which is appropriate for their skills. Whereas in India, I'm not saying all, but I have experienced some of us who are not trained and who are just doing things for the sake of doing, and that makes me feel very not sad but disappointed. That
Disappointed.
if we are in this field and we don't honor our own truth, how can we really do anything else? Really, how can we
Absolutely.
help others see their truth? Yeah. So it's a little
Absolutely.
disappointing, I would say.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but I hope things will improve because, if anything, Seher, one of the things that I've learned in the last 3 months is that people worldwide are very similar. It's not as if if it's America, then people behave in a more sophisticated manner or whatever. I've seen that people
Yeah.
through geographies are behaving in a similar manner. Sometimes, so and so is better. Sometimes another, but I mean, it's human behavior. Let's put it that way. At the end of the
Yeah.
day,
Yes.
so let's hope this kind of clan mentality here reduces soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
I
that
so
will be
pray.
nice. I hope the last 2-3 months have not been too harsh on you. I think you must have done better. You're so creative, so I'm sure you must have done justice to the time, because there are
Yeah,
generally people who
definitely.
are really depressed and they're very unhappy with the lockdown and all that, which I'm not, honestly. So I hope it's been good.
Sadhna, there's always good in everything. If you really want to see good, there's always good in everything. So I think I have I have done a lot of stuff I would have not dreamt of doing, or I didn't have the confidence in doing. I've done a lot of stuff which for the first time. I've had a great time basically. And anyways, my lifestyle has been almost the same, so not much has changed. But yes, I did continue with my workshops online. I did take up some nice activities, like I learned how to bake. I tried to learn belly dancing. I did a lot of new things, read books which otherwise it's not my type of book. I'm more of a self-development and whatever is related to my work and interest me. But I tried to read novels, something new, and it felt good. I decided that I definitely do not want to hear anything about COVID. So, and I completely shut that down because for some reason I have my own ideas about it and my knowing about it. But it has been a very interesting time for me because in some ways I also realized that a lot of what I was living or the way I was living because it was the norm. It had become the norm. And now I realize this is what I enjoy the most, that a different pace of life, varieties. I restarted my family, and all of this is where my so I'm not very fond of seeing personal clients. Okay, I try to ask them to come to the workshop because I feel it's more time saving and also money saving for a lot of them. So I rather have them to come to a workshop, and I feel it's more empowering. But my work has increased 4 times. I'm seeing more clients, and yet I am having more time. So I've got more organized. So I think it has been beautiful, and everything, and also a sense of community has set inside now. I don't know about Delhi, but in Chandigarh, I realize these are a handful of friends that I want to have a sense of community with. I want to cook food and just drop them at their home, even if they are not there. I also received a lot of such gifts, cakes and breads and this and that, and this closeness has come back, which was lost. So I
That's
quite
true.
enjoyed this period, to be honest. What I miss the most, though, is my traveling. I
Yes, of
really,
course.
I'm aching
Yeah,
to go back on the road now.
of
Yeah.
course. And you must let me plan it for you whenever you do. Yeah. So
Yes, we shall
we
plan soon.
yes, and I think we have taken up a long time, and I didn't even realize so much time has passed. So just a couple of questions for me, which maybe I would like to answer. Jyotika had asked when are things going to get normal, and what about travel norms and all of that. So briefly, let me tell you that as things stand, in July, August, September, properties are opening up all over the world, but initially they will be catering to domestic travel. So, we have so many places near Delhi which are already opening up. Similarly, there are places in the south, etc. So, either you could do a driving holiday, or you could fly and go from the nearest airport, but within India. International travel may be happening at the end of the year, I think, maybe October or so, not before that. But I'll keep you updated. If anyone has any questions, you can get in touch with me on Sadhna Insta. Also, Mona had asked that.
I don't have a question, I have a request.
Yeah, tell me. Anything.
The request is, as soon as it opens, the first thing you're planning should be for me.
Of course, completely my pleasure. And Mona also mentioned that she loves traveling, but somehow how do you manage with so many things? How do you manage budgets, etc.? So all I can say is, to travel, you just need an intention. You don't really need a whole lot of money. There are always things within whatever budget. I mean, maybe one holiday is not that expensive, another one can be. So all you need to do is tell a good travel counselor the amount that you would like to spare for this holiday. Maybe next time it will be more or less, whichever way. But this holiday is, this is what I want to spare. And I'm sure they can find some solution for you. So my company, by the way, is the Intrepid Club. So we plan holidays. Sahar is available on Life Coach Sahar on Instagram. My personal handle is sadhna_insta. So if you have any more questions, or if you want to give us feedback on how you enjoyed this program today, you're most welcome to write in. I'll be looking forward to hearing from you. I hope you enjoyed this nearly 1 hour. Sahar, we've been talking for nearly 1 hour. I hope you enjoyed this.
I loved it.
I loved being here. I was so looking forward the whole day. That when is it, going to be 7 p.m. for me to start this show. And thank you very much, all of you who've been on the show. I really appreciate it. Much gratitude. Thank you so much, Sahar, for being here. I'm so impressed with the lovely questions that everybody asked, and impromptu we answered so many of them. So thank you for being there and seeing this through. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it, because I really enjoyed talking to my guest. If you did, then you must join me every Sunday at 7 p.m. on a curator's journey on Instalive. And here on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon before you log out, so that you get notified about any new videos which get uploaded. Thank you so much again, and I really look forward to connecting with you more.